We're talking green fees today with Keith Mellen, who is a co-owner of Veck Hair. For those of you that don't know, green fee is how being a member of Green Salon Collective will become cost neutral for you. It won't cost you anything. Essentially, we recommend charging each of your clients a £1 green fee, and then that will then cover all your future costs of being with Green Salon Collective. And in 99.99% of the time, people are more than happy to pay the green fee in our experience. And that's why we're doing these videos and reaching out to members. So Keith, your salon was already for years seen as a sustainable salon. How did your clients react when you started charging them for that, when you started charging a green fee?
Yeah, thanks for that, Fry. Well, very positively. And we didn't hide it. We explained it and mentioned it on social media. And we found it's a really positive talking point. So we've got a policy anyway of trying to talk about sustainable things. We have stickers on the mirrors and so on, and get into our stylists get into quite a lot of conversations with clients about what we're doing and why we do it. And the green fee was an aspect of that. And what we actually found was one or two people would say, oh, what's this this pound on my bill? And then when you mentioned it, they'd be really positive about it. So if it came up during the appointment, then it was good to talk about. And if it came up at the till, then yeah, people would be positive about it. So we've had with one exception, which is quite a funny story, got no negative vibes about the green fee at all, and people actually are very positive about it because they get it. They think, well, this is great that you're doing it with Green Salon Collective. What an amazing service, because it's a step change from what everybody's used to, which is like literally putting the bins out, and it's not much different at the back of the salon, is it, when it's perhaps the local council collecting. And so that really positive. And as I have to, not exaggerating too much, it's just helped, because in our marketing mix, sustainability is a big part of it. And so this has actually helped. It's been an extra talking point that's come along, just 2 or 3 years ago, whenever it was we joined you, that we didn't have before. The funny story is the only negative response was my sister, who lives in Slough and comes up to Oxford, where the salon is, every now and again to have her hair done. And this is the only one. It's true. I get a phone call. It's just before Christmas. It says, Keith, this is Anne here. And my sister's called Anne as well as my wife, Anne Veck. It says, I've been charged £1 for my hairdo. I mean, are you asking your clients to pay for your recycling? I thought, typical, isn't it? Yeah, the only exception is my blooming sister. And so I explained it to her, and she came round and said, "Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, that's very good."
Came round.
But that was really funny.
It's interesting to hear from you, Keith, that people are noticing the green fee and then asking about it, and then that leads to a positive conversation. Because if you're not charging a green fee and you've just put your price up, then your salons aren't necessarily, your salon clients aren't necessarily going to know what you're doing. It's very, very rare that a salon doesn't charge a green fee. But what's your thoughts on those people that don't do it? What would you say?
Well, I suppose you mentioned people putting the price up because of what they perceive as an additional cost, and not mentioning it. Well, that's just missing an opportunity to be positive and probably to generate some extra sales through that conversation about being sustainable. And those clients will probably talk to their friends about it. So you're not giving yourself or your customers the opportunity to sort of recommend your salon. If you absorb the cost and don't charge it, well, that's a business decision for you. But it seems to be, given the positive response we've had, and I've heard from other salon owners as well, generally, to the green fee, it seems to be you're missing an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say salons and freelancers are missing a huge opportunity here, because the feedback that we get, so our message is cost neutral. And we say that really to play safe, because most people I speak to, they actually profit from this system. even when you factor in the shipping and the tax and that type of thing, the amount of green fees you generate for one box is more than the actual box itself. And I've found that salons are then using this extra revenue to replace their taps or to buy plants or to make those little improvements. Have you seen any of that in your salon, or are you losing a bit? Is it cost neutral? How do you find it?
Well, yeah, I was concerned at the beginning, before I sort of quite got my head around how it worked, that it was an extra cost. And then that was just me being a bit dim, really. And then I understood how it worked and saying, okay. And I did a back of an envelope calculation and thought, well, the worst case is break even. And having looked at our figures, we have between, say, 700 and 800 clients every month, and we order 3 to 4 boxes every month, and take off the VAT on both sides. And an average month, we're about £80 to the good. So I think that's reasonable. I think if you don't want to be profiteering out of it, do you? And then my sister's comment about, you would then have some validity. But, given the scale of what we do with 700, 800 clients a month, I mean, £80 is just covering, like you said, it just helps to cover some of the additional costs that are involved in being a bit more sustainable, which, having said that, I would say to people, being sustainable doesn't actually add to your costs. I mean, if you're clever enough, it could reduce your costs, and when you look at the extra client business that you're going to drive into the salon by being sustainable, then that's actually a no-brainer, really. But going back to the main point, I think, even if you slightly over order on the boxes and buy a bit, and don't fill them up properly, maybe you're probably going to worst case break even. And if you're efficient, then you'll make a little margin, which I think is
that's right. And that's totally fine. I think that's totally fine. It's also handy as well, because if you do get a client like your sister, or if you don't perhaps want to charge your weekly clients, or if you don't want to charge children, if you want to make exceptions for those people, then it's good to hear that your costs covered. What about
sorry,
go on, Keith.
I was just going to say, and of course, if anyone's wondering, the way this works is you set it up on your salon software. So if you did want to exclude some particular services from the green fee for whatever reason you might have, then you can do that. It's all, it's under your control.
Yeah. What software do you use, Keith?
We use Salon IQ.
Yeah, Salon IQ. Yeah. So Salon IQ are great for implementing a green fee, as are Forest and Timely and Shortcuts and Katumba and many others. But essentially, what happens is that the green fees are automatically on every invoice, and then you have the option to remove it. That's how it works for you, Keith.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And just lastly, Keith, two more questions to finish up with. The first being of your staff. How have they found having that conversation? As an ex-hairdresser myself, I know that as hairdressers, we don't often like to talk price. We don't like to talk, especially when the prices are going up. How have they handled it when they've been questioned on it?
I think quite relaxed about it. I mean, we because we've been sustainable for quite a while, and obviously we have a bit of staff turnover. It is important to sort of keep the topic going at, as well as casually in the staff room, but also team meetings every month. Just a little reminder. And obviously, when we introduced it, we talked it through, and if they're talking generally about sustainability, then it's just part of that conversation. So I can't think. I'm racking my brain. I can't think that anyone's sort of said at a team meeting, "Oh, I don't understand this green fee, and I had a problem with a client." It's all been fine. I mean, people are pretty intelligent; they understand it.
Yeah.
And with the overall ethos of the salon and generally a sympathetic clientele, it's an easy conversation to have. And the other good thing from Green Salon Collective and the salon's point of view is it does lead into a broader conversation about who are Green Salon Collective and what do they do. And then what you do is so much better than what you get if you use your local council recycling service, or possibly, I wouldn't want to comment on other private contractors because I've never really used them very much. But you know, what you offer is so much better and better organised and easy, and you know, and tailor made for a salon, that it's you know, it's all very positive, and people appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, yeah, thanks, Keith, for giving us your insights on it. Any final thoughts to salons that are on the fence about a green fee, or on the fence about becoming a more sustainable salon? Any final words of wisdom for those guys?
Well, I mean, the headline thing is, why wouldn't you want to take action to be more sustainable? Because it will bring more clients into your salon, and it will, if you're clever about it, you probably might even reduce your costs. And going on that first thing, I mean, quite frankly, I think if you fast forward to 3 years' time, if your business isn't green, if your salon isn't sustainable, it's probably going to be empty, because this is what the public want. They want to do business with sustainable businesses. And I mean, as you know, some people might be aware, Anne and I produced a salon toolkit, so you could call Salon Resource, and we've just done version 2, and it's almost embarrassing, Fry, because you know, so right, how can you tackle this issue in your salon to be more sustainable? And the answer: join Green Salon Collective, because you know, you're always expanding what you do, and with all your research projects and everything. So you know, whether it's plastic, card, paper, metal, foils, whatever it is, the answer is to get on board with Green Salon Collective, and it's it's you provide the solutions to so many problems.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Your resource that you send out, it is very handy as well, and there's lots of other tips in that too. How can people sign up for that?
Yeah, well, it's called Salon Resource, and probably the easiest way to find it is either to go on the Veck website, www.anveckhair.com, or to go onto Instagram and put in Salon Resource, and then there's a link, and it whizzes you off to a MailChimp landing page. So we do get your email, but the good thing about giving us your email address is when I do new versions and updates, then you get those automatically, and then you'll get this toolkit. Version 2 is literally going live. I think it'll probably be next week. And version 2 is better than version 1, because version 1's over a year old now, and you know, we find out new stuff, and so yeah, thanks for the plug on that. I appreciate that, because it's designed to be really user friendly for salon owners. You don't have to wade through 10 pages of stuff and lose the will to live before you get into the action.
And it is, and we'll put links below this video wherever we post it as well.
Thank you.
So thanks, Keith.
Yeah, appreciate
it.